All right, thank everybody for tuning in the channel today. I've done some generator videos. I just wanted to basically go over some generators today in case you're preparing for a storm or zombie apocalypse or any of those things. You know, what size generator do you need? First off, what fuel, gas, diesel, or propane, what the maintenance schedule is. I want to cover a couple of those topics today for you. I know there's a lot of people that understand it and there's a lot of people that don't understand it, so I've had a lot of questions, so I'm going to try to answer some of those in one video the best I can. If you've got any other questions, just drop them in the comments below. I'll try to get those answered. Today I'll start with the smaller gas generators right here. These are the 2500 Onan inverter generator, and when you see inverter, basically it means it idles up, it idles down, so it's more fuel efficient. These generators will run a box fan, they're going to run your refrigerator, very small generator. One of the things you've got to consider is fuel consumption. How much fuel you're going to burn. If I'm going to leave my house and I only need to run the refrigerator, I definitely want to run something small like this, plug the refrigerator in, and not leave some big generator running and just burn a bunch of fuel, because during a pandemic or during anything that happens, of course, fuel is one of the hardest things to get hold of. So you want to make sure you have some options there. The other thing I will discuss in these generators is these are all small. These are not continuous duty. I mean, they're good for a backup for, a day, 2, 3, 4, even a week, off and on, but you're going to need to be changing the oil. So one of the big things you're going to need to look at is your maintenance schedule. You want to make sure you have plenty of oil, spark plugs, fuel filters, oil filters, all those things to change it, because some generators may have a 24-hour or a 48-hour runtime. So after you've ran it 24, you're going to have to shut it down, drain the oil, change the oil, check the plugs, all those things. So just make sure you have the maintenance stuff and make sure that you are covered for what you need for that part. We'll go over the size of the generators. So these, like I said, box fan, refrigerator, something like that, very fuel efficient. They only hold a gallon of gas. But runtime on a gallon of gas can be 8 to 10 hours depending on the load. So very efficient. We move over here to the 4500s. This is good for a 30 amp. So this is good for an RV. If you look on the front of these, they've got a full RV plug. So if you want to hook up your RV, run your your 15,000 BTU air conditioner, your hot water heater, those things, they can do that. One of the nice things about the paired inverters is you can actually parallel them, and you get a 50 amp. And when you parallel them, you get a 50 amp. But the downside of that is it's only a 110 50 amp. So if I put one of these on my RV, I may have, let's say, 8 hours of runtime running the air conditioner and the hot water heater. If I start both of them up and pair them parallel, I can have up to maybe 15, 16 hours of runtime with both running, so I don't have to worry about refueling in the middle of the night, stuff like that. So like I said, these generators really good. They're not whole home generators. They're not going to give you that 50 amp. You can hook up a 30 amp to your whole home. You're going to have to shut your hot water heaters off, and just manage your electricity, but it can be done. And a lot of times what you'll use on that is, I've got a 50 amp cord here. You see that? It's got the 50 amp. And that's when you move over to a generator this size right here. Now on my home, I have the gas instant hot water heaters, so I don't have a lot of draw on hot water heaters. If you look at a hot water heater, you're almost 8,000 watts just to run 2 elements. They're usually 4,000 a piece. So that's why you'll have to turn those off intermittently. But you can shut everything else down and then heat your hot water heater up, and then use that hot water if that's something you need, want to take a hot shower during storm or outage or whatever. So that is an option for you too, to run this size generator. I have a 22 kW on my house with an auto transfer switch, the Generac. It is a very nice genset. It starts up within 10 seconds of losing power and transfers over. Everything's fully automatic. I've got a propane tank on it. The propane fuel never goes bad. You never really have to worry about storing fuel for it because it's in the propane tank. That makes it a really nice set. Now again, I don't think, if I knew the power was going to be out for more than about 3 or 4 days, I would definitely shut it down and I would run my diesel. We'll get into the diesel because this is more of a continuous duty genset. This is one that you're going to run 24 hours a day. Don't really worry about it. This one, pull in my house, burns about 0.6 gallons an hour. It's got a 9-gallon fuel tank, so you can do the math on that. that's about what you end up. But your maintenances are going to be longer on a diesel. So you can run longer in between having to do maintenances on it, but you definitely still want to make sure you have maintenance kits, everything you need to change oil, air filter, fuel filter, all that good stuff. This is more of a commercial gen set than the other one. So, you know, if comparison between the Generac and that one, like I said, if I know I'm going to be down a lot of days, I'm going to go to this one. My Generac probably would run it, but again, that's an aluminum block engine. It's air cooled. It's just not made for the design of 24-hour service. It's made to be a backup generator. So that's kind of the differences. You know, this one's a 50 amp. Anything you get into like a 10,000, you'll start seeing the 50 amp plugs. And like I said, there's a lot of different ways. You can use a transfer switch. You can put a little box with a breaker on the outside. Have an electrician do it. Have somebody you know do it that knows what they're doing. Don't get yourself electrocuted. And you definitely don't make sure you don't feed any power back to the system. So you always want to have a main or, you know, something like that that you can shut off, because you definitely don't want to send power back to the lineman. So just make sure you do all the safety stuff. You have somebody look at it if you set it up. But just understand, if you have these gensets, what your actual backup time is and life expectancy. How many hours are these gensets going to run, right? Because if you're planning for a long period of time of having backup power, you're going to get more into, you're going to want the diesel. Again, though, on gas generators, gas is easy to get. You know, I've got the options. I've got gas, diesel, or propane. So depending on how you want to set that up, you know, look at those. But definitely look for a full 50 amp if you're looking, and that's usually, like I said, above 10,000 watts on most gensets. 8,000 watts will have a full 30 amp 240. Even your 5,500 watt gensets might have a 30 amp 240. But you're in the 30 amp, you're going to be really limited on what you can run inside your home. A couple lights, you know, keep your stuff on. But you get into running these larger gensets, you can pretty much run everything you need. So, like I said today, just wanted to do a quick video, just kind of explaining the different sizes. Anyway, just want to say thanks for watching the video. Please hit that like and subscribe in the top right hand corner. You know, there's no time like now, time to prepare for a hurricane. You know, power's not always there. So thanks again. Hit that like and subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one.